Good evening and welcome everybody to the Orleans Arena for Game 2 between the 23rd ranked UNLV Skating Rebels and the 13th ranked Jamestown Jimmies. Hi everybody, I'm Dana Lane. Thanks for joining us. It's going to be a loud one tonight as Monday night in Las Vegas is about ready to face off between UNLV and Jamestown. Starting lineups tonight for UNLV. First in goal for Jamestown, Tyson Brower. Of course, the other night, fantastic effort by Brower. And then, of course, in goal for UNLV, former Jamestown Jimmy, is Anderson. Gets his fifth win the other night. Mayer, Turcotte, and Manning will man the first line. Linehan, Underwood, Sachs, Demizio, Erickson, and John. And the fourth line is Moeller, Flanders, and Malone. Fisher will also see some time tonight. Defensive parents, Bozasov, Eric Williams, Plonsky, Mazzillo, Hetzel, and Lenzen. And we are underway here at City National, check that at the Orleans Arena. Be McNeil, McKechnie, and Johnson for Jamestown. Haney, Allen Pruss, and Michael Pruss on the second line. Kale, Van Ruin, Richter, third line. Tyser, Chavez Leach, Tyler, Chavez Leach. POTUS, Aiden POTUS, Brian Crum, and of course the defensive parents, Okino and Popov, Nice and Rollo, Jamzitsky and Simpson. Schraber will also see some time on defense. So we're underway from the Orleans Arena, and the UNLV Rebels already give one up in front and blocked in front nicely. Good job there by Popov, who came up from his defensive spot to pick up the loose puck and try to get a shot in on Anderson. Didn't quite get through, and that's one of the things UNLV did. As the shot goes just wide of Anderson. One thing the Rebels did extremely well the other night in their 1-0 win is play well defensively in front, clogging the middle and keeping the Jimmies to the perimeter as they dump it in. Brower makes his save and thought about freezing the puck for a second, but decided not to as he lays it off. So just underway. Here's the giveaway back the other way. Here's Erickson. Erickson with a shot goes wide. It was deflected. And again, like any other night, first goal really sets the tone, and it took a long time for either team to get a goal the other night, and that was the only goal that was needed by either one of these teams, or, well, by UNLV at least, and won the first game 1-0. Shot in a high slot. Wasn't handled there. And then a turnover as the Rebels go back. Asaf and Williams on defense. Williams throws it up to Demizio. Couldn't quite handle it. Brought it back into the defensive zone. Now back the other way. It's a shot and a save by Anderson. Good opportunity there, and we've seen twice already tonight loose pucks with a lot of room. And then right there, Richter, who did not play on Friday night, jumped on that puck and had a lot of room to walk in and kind of pick his spot. Face-off won by the Jimmies. Still back into the offensive zone, now poked away into the neutral zone. Rebels back the other way. Here comes John. John trying to make a move, shot and a save. As John tried to get it back and get a second shot off, but did a good job of getting that off his forehand. As you want to make sure to get as many pucks in on Tyson Brower as possible. We'll see how effective or how aggressive the Jimmies are going to be tonight. Here's Demizio. Demizio tried not sure if he was trying to get that up to Flanders. Nonetheless, it went outside of Flanders' stick. And Jamestown takes control up through the neutral zone. Thrown down by Crom. The Jimmies went back to get it, and that's kind of their game. We talked about that the other night. It's dump and chase, go into a corner, win a battle, and then find somebody as Flanders chasing it. He does have Malone in front if he can get to it, and we're going to have a penalty. This one's going to go on Jamestown. It looks like Nice. Their second pairing defenseman's going to go off maybe for a trip or a hook. We'll see what the call is, but Nonetheless, UNLV is going to go on their first power play with 16:44 to go in the first period. So Nice is going to sit down, and taking a draw for UNLV is Mayer, as UNLV puts their first power play unit up on the ice. Browning 2 minutes for boarding. We have 2:21s as shot goes wide. 2:21s on the roster. One is Nice, and we'll make that correction. So this is one thing the Rebels want to improve on the other night with the man advantage. Not a lot of opportunities. Back to get it is Demizio. Demizio throws it back to the right point. Finds its way back to Sachs. Sachs trying to make a move and loves using that net to get free to the defender. Shot from the point goes wide. Looking for a deflection. Couldn't find one. Now a cross ice pass to Underwood. Rebels still in control on the right. There's a shot and a save as the puck comes back outside the offensive zone. So the Rebels go back to regroup. Good puck movement. That was one thing that was noticeable the other night that they needed to improve on. As Erickson accesses the offensive zone looking for somebody in front. He got John streaking down the middle. Couldn't get a backhander off to him. So puck still remains in the corner, and battle won there by the Jimmies with 34 seconds left in a power play, and Jamestown throws it down the length of the ice as Erickson goes out to leave it off for Flanders. Or check that to Williams. Here's Asaf. Asaf being harassed. Finally, I'm sure if he lost the puck, but did find its way over to Williams. Back the other way, here comes Sachs. Sachs with his head up, makes a move. Gets it down low to John, shot, and just wide. Good opportunity there. Now throws it back out to the point. Here's Williams. Williams just gloves it, or throws it in, and it's gloved there by Brower. So the Rebels, through the first 5 minutes and 16 seconds, a lot more active than they were to begin game one. And, of course, after a long layover or layoff, you would expect that. But they seem to be much more crisp with their passing tonight, and not only with just getting the puck off their stick, but having an intent as to where the puck is going after it does get off their stick. And they've had good opportunities, and unfortunately for them, Brower's not a goaltender. It's a save by Brower again. Brower's not a goaltender that gives up a lot of rebounds, so maybe if you have some room, walk in a little bit, pick a spot, try to beat them. But you're not going to get a lot of rebound off opportunities from either one of these netminders tonight. So Jimmies are able to get it out of the zone, and Bell was poked it up outside the offensive zone with 14:10 to go in the first period. That's what we need. A little offspring. Let's get people up and rolling a little bit. They put everybody on one side of the arena tonight. So that should be good and loud on that side. Unfortunately, on my side, it's not so loud. So Turcotte will take the draw for UNLV. He will lose the draw. Popoff will gather it in for the Jimmies and throw it in down low. Nobody there for Jamestown, so UNLV decides to pick it up and roll it up ice. Fisher had to deflect off of his stick for a second. Now ping-pong back and found its way. Here's a shot wide of Anderson. Good opportunity there by McKechnie. As the Jimmies have their fourth line on the ice right now. Interesting, Jimmy's fourth line was on the ice against UNLV's number one line. Good opportunity at the time for perhaps UNLV to take advantage of that. Now the Rebels counter now with their third line. Erickson is out there now. He's third line center. The Rebels win the draw, and Williams throws it around the boards. On up to John. John loses control of it, and Jimmy's deflected down back into the UNLV end. Asaf chased it and got it on up to Demizio. Demizio It's like Groundhog Day once again as Asaf went to play it over to DeMizio. But the Jimmies, once again, were able to keep it inside the UNLV zone. As the first goal tonight, as we saw in game one, very important. Shot in by Popov, deflected wide. And Anderson decided to get it off of his glove. I'm not sure if he wanted to pick that up or if it did deflect over to his left-hand side, but no harm, no foul with 12:52 to go in the first period. And no score if Eric Williams was trying to stretch past, couldn't find a Rebel on the other end, but the Rebels are able to keep it in the offensive zone. Right now, both teams trying to find some flow. The Rebels have had the better chances of the two. And we have a hit up high as Rebels accessing the offensive zone. There's sacks. Underwood goes off the ice as he got hit high, and I'm sure he'll be looked at and make sure that he's got all his faculties. Rebels still, there was a deflection in front. Couldn't get it in on Brower with 12:02 to go first period. And still scoreless. The Jimmies have not scored a goal in a very long time. In fact, and we'll give you the exact numbers, but here comes Malone. Malone wanted a puck instead. Sack said, I'll take it, and he shoots it in on Brower. And like normal, Brower does not give up a rebound. So 11:44 to go. First period. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dana Lane. A lot of great memories in this building, and we'll go over a lot of those tonight. I mean, a lot of big moments, not just hockey moments, but it's good to be back here. And a lot of good memories when the Wranglers were here for sure, and a couple other events that I happen to be at, but I won't bore you with Imagination Mover talk. Good job there, making sure that icing was waved off. As Brownie came over to keep it back in the offensive zone. Here's a little floater in front. That was intended. There's 2-on-1 back the other way. And puck thrown back outside the zone. So there's a little bit of a lull. It's both teams trying to gain momentum. And I think the crowd is waiting for UNLV to get on the board first and get some electricity going in this building. But after last night's 1-0 game, you have no idea when either one of these teams are going to score. Here's a turnover in front. Sachs was trying to make a move, couldn't find anybody. And that's one thing from UNLV. They got to get guys to the front of the net, even if the puck isn't there. Got to get people in front of Brower's eyes. Otherwise, just about any goaltender of his talent, at least, is certainly going to make the save from the perimeter. As the Let's Go Rebels chant starts up. A good chip out of the zone there by Asaf. He just picked it up and gets it out of the offensive zone. And it's one thing that Rebel defensemen have done a good job of is getting the puck and chipping it out of the zone so no offensive opportunities can be had. First 10 minutes gone by, no score. Puck loose in front. Turcotte turned around and tried to find Sachs, and Sachs couldn't handle it. But the Rebels back as the puck went through the neutral zone. And now back of Anderson. Now the Rebels have only given up one shot on goal through the first 10.5 minutes. And that's kind of reminiscent of what has happened between these two teams. And the Jimmies are more than happy to play their brand of hockey and cause you to make a mistake and then take advantage of your mistake. And fortunately for UNLV, they didn't have too many in game one. But it's a very patient Jamestown team, and they will lull you to sleep sometimes. Even more reason why it's important to get up one, get that first goal, and the team that can get the other team out of their shot just wide. Good job by Van Bruin. Van Bruin made a good decision there. And 2 seconds later, he would have had a stick on his puck. Was able to get it in on net as Anderson made the blocker save. The key to any sporting event is getting the other team to do things that they don't want to do in an effort to catch up. And that's essentially what both of these teams, who are obviously evenly matched, have been trying to do all weekend. I guess it's Monday now. I don't think we've ever had a Monday UNLV game. Have we? Monday UNLV game? No. Well, it's very exciting. Face off back down in the Jimmy's end on the icing. And those are big face-offs for UNLV to win. Eric Williams did finally get the puck, threw it in, but nobody there once again for UNLV. And here's Asaf. Asaf gets it off to Williams, being heavily forechecked as Williams gets hit high. And the Rebels, once again, good job of chipping it out of the zone. It's the Jimmies want to play in your side of the ice and force you to make mistakes. And the minute you get it off, you have it on your stick, you got to get it out of the zone, and they've done a great job of doing that. Puck bouncing around in the high slot area, nobody there to get any kind of a shot on it, and it's just a methodical brand of hockey right now. Williams gets it, and that's the type of turnover right there that the Jimmies are looking at, and shot in front, but deflected wide. Good opportunity there by McNeil, but just couldn't get a stick on it. And that's exactly what they want you to do. They're going to be aggressive. Here's a move, a backhander and a backhander, just saved by Anderson. And a second shot, and we're going to have a penalty. That second shot did not get to him, get to Anderson. But that's a clear example of what Jamestown wants you to do. They're going to pressure your defenseman to make a play. And if they don't make the right play or get it out of the zone or get it up to a forward quick enough, they're going to force you into a mistake. And that right there is what led to two Jamestown opportunities. One getting in on Anderson, the second one did not. Nick Flanders is going to go off. 2 minutes for charging to Flanders. And Jamestown now has their first opportunity with a man advantage. And they have yet to solve Anderson all weekend as Turcotte gets control of the puck and was able to get it out of the zone. Good clear by Turcotte, finding the open space. We'll see how aggressive UNLV is on the penalty kill. There's a backhander in front, but nobody there for the Jimmies, and a clear. So talked to Coach Anthony Vigneri-Greener this morning and asked him about pressuring the point. And he said that they would rather not do that. They'd rather just play a wedge inside, which is going to give their opposing defenseman a lot of room up front. But that's what he's comfortable in playing. And of course, if it goes to the boards of the corners, that's when they become extremely aggressive. But they will give you the point on this. And so a team that can pass quick, as Anderson goes down to make the glove save it, a team that can pass quickly and move the puck quickly is going to have an advantage as they're going to force the defensemen to go, the penalty killers to go back and forth quick, which 9 times out of 10 opens up a hole for the shooter from the point. But like he pointed out, most goaltenders can stop open looks from the point. There's a shot in. Anderson saw it from the point again. And case in point, we were just talking about there. A shot in, wide open. And that one found its way in on Anderson as he made the save. So 30 seconds left in the penalty to Flanders. 5:43 to go in the first period. No score between Jamestown and UNLV. And face off just right of Anderson, won there once again by Jamestown. Now he walks in and scores. Well, that's what happens. It's Aiden Potus gets the goal for Jamestown, and he walked right in because he had a lot of room. And he picked the glove side and beat Anderson, and Jamestown takes a 1-0 lead over UNLV with 5:35 to go. That's a power play goal for Aiden Potus, their leading goal scorer. And we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast that Jamestown has scored just once in their last 3 games, and that broke his 147-minute streak. And they only had 2 goals in their last 198 minutes of play. So maybe that will get Coach Stork's team rolling on the offensive end. But Jamestown draws first blood here. And we're going to have an offside call as Johnson was offside on that zone entry. UNLV, through almost 15 minutes of play, only has 4 shots on goal. And they're going to have to do better than that. Okino will get the assist, and Richter, who did not play the other night, gets the other assist. So Jamestown takes a 1-0 lead as the puck goes up along the boards. Back the other way is John. John tries to throw it down in the corner. Now it's a battle on the half wall. Kept in hit there by Linehan, but nobody for UNLV to do anything with it as the puck trickles right as it's picked up by Linehan. And now the battle once again forms in the corner, and that's kind of what Jamestown would love to do. Just throw it there and let's have some battles. Let's go mano-a-mano and see who wins. And Sachs gets hit from behind, and UNLV is going to go to a power play, and never want to see anybody get hit from behind, but that's the last kid that you want to see get hit from behind because of all the injury issues that he has had. And it looks like he's okay right there, but so UNLV is going to a power play down 1-0 with 4:16 to go in the first period. And that for sure is going to be a boarding call. Brandon Shaver's going off for 2 minutes. So here's a chance for UNLV to get right back, get that goal right back. And we'll see how tonight's power play, how quickly they move the puck. Oh, he gets a tripping call. Okay. Well, you slam a guy from behind into the boards, and apparently it's a tripping call. Almost a turnover in front as Williams had it for a second, but so far UNLV in the first 30 seconds of this power play has had no opportunities as the Jimmies have been extremely aggressive, forcing UNLV even on the penalty kill to beat them in all 3 zones. There's Williams trying to gather the puck in, and again, Jamestown shoots it down the ice. As Asaf goes back and tries to regroup for UNLV, and UNLV is going for a change, but in the midst of going for the change, they probably have dropped 10 seconds off this power play. Not the quickest change you'd ever want to see. There's Flanders cross-ice pass now into the Jimmy end, and the Jimmy's in control, and once again shot back down the other way by McKechnie. Good job by McKechnie. Now, here's a shot and a score! Well, Underwood was all alone, and he came in and used his speed, and he beat Brower to the glove side, and UNLV ties this game up with 2:57 to go in the first period, and that's a power play goal as Underwood beat Brower, and we're tied at 1. And there's a perfect example of just going to the net. The puck found Underwood's stick, and Underwood just used his speed and beat Brower, and we're all tied at 1. So Kirk Underwood was able to tie this game up. And now we've had more goals scored in the first 17 minutes than we had in 60. Well, yeah, in 60 in the first game. Kirk Underwood gets the goal, and I don't think there will be an assist, and there's not. So we're all tied up, 17:03. Back the other way, shot. Anderson makes a save. Puck still loose. And a hit up against the wall. Good job there by Flanders, tying the puck up. Here's Muller. Muller, cross-ice pass. Rebels in transition, but it was 1-on-2, so they decided to dump it in and get a change with under 2 minutes to go in the first period. And there's a turnover in front. Safan. And Jamestown just scored 2-1. It scored it again and made it 2-1. And look down for 1 second because I don't have. Well, I do, yep. Well, we'll say that again. Chavez Leach had the puck for a second. He shot it in. And we'll see who gets the goal score on that one. But Jamestown comes right back. It takes a 2-1 lead with 1:45 to go in the first period. And Chavez Leach will at least get the assist on that. I'm not sure. We'll see who gets the goal. We'll get the official announcement now as we have a whistle. And then a hit from behind, and that certainly should be a penalty on Jamestown. As Browning went over and just sent Jake Sachs, check that, Turcotte hit him from behind. Turcotte went flying, so there's got to be a penalty on this because I'm pretty sure in all my years of watching hockey that that's not allowed. And the Jimmies there might be a two-man advantage for UNLV, and we see two Jimmies going into the. Okay, so it's going to be a one-man. UNLV will have a man advantage for sure. They'll have a power play on this. Turcotte's going to go into the box. I guess, I'm not sure you get two-handed from behind, and I'm not sure what he did before that, but I guess players don't just go over and give two-handed shots, and sure there was something said before that. So nonetheless, UNLV does go on a power play. Richter will go off, as will Bell for Jamestown. And of course, Turcotte will go off for UNLV. So if everything stays the way it is, UNLV will end the first period on a power play in an attempt to tie this game up at 2. Rebels only 5 shots on goal so far. And in the first 2 meetings between these two teams, the Rebels averaged 34 shots a game. And they're going to have to hurry up to get to that mark tonight. The first meeting, UNLV lost in overtime 4-3. Down 3-1 headed to the third period. Aiden Potus gets his second goal, and and Chavez Leach will get the assist, as we thought on that. So Potus gets his second goal, the leading goal scorer for Jamestown, as the Rebels have it in the Jamestown end with 1:14, 1:12 to go in the first period. 2-1 Jamestown. Here's Sachs. Shot and a save. Puck is loose. Puck is still loose in front. Shot and another save. And we're going to have a penalty. And now both teams have had more than their share of opportunity, more so than the first game. But Brower made a terrific save right there as He was on his behind, sprawling out. And I'm not sure if the puck ever got to him, but UNLV is going to have a two-man advantage here, as there's going to be another penalty on Jamestown. Browning goes off, which I'm sure makes Turcotte happy. But the Rebels have a golden opportunity here, or a scarlet and gray opportunity to tie this game up. Shot save, glove save. I'm getting the announcements right now. And Turcotte gets 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike. And Browning gets 2 minutes for holding. So 50 seconds left. UNLV has a two-man advantage. They'd love nothing more than to tie this up. Good block in front. Here's Mazzillo. Mazzillo, the quarterback on this power play with 36 seconds left in the first period. Mazzillo back out to Underwood. Now down low as Jamestown trying to clear it out. The Rebels able to keep it in. Here's Underwood. Slapper. Save. Puck is still loose. I'm not sure they have it, but the Rebels are still pounding away at it, and now we have a whistle with 16.6 seconds left in the first period. 2-1 Jamestown, and the Rebels will end this period most likely with a two-man advantage. They'll begin the second with a two-man advantage. They'll have 22 seconds in the second period. And they'll have a two-man advantage, and then they'll have, of course, a power play for a minute 17 is left on the second penalty. As the Rebels win the draw, gets it down low to John. Shot just wide. Good wind up there, and shot went wide of Brower. UNLV still able to maintain control. And that's going to do it for the end of the second period. I saw Jake Sachs wind up for a slap shot. I don't think I've seen that ever. But nonetheless, at the end of the first period, Jamestown leads UNLV 2-1, but UNLV will have a two-man advantage for 22 seconds headed into the second period. At the end of one, Jamestown 2, UNLV 1. We'll be back at the end of the first intermission.
I'm great. Hey, you guys having fun? Rebels! Do me a favor, you couple of handsome gems over here. We're going to face that way, even though the camera's behind us. I promise we're showing your good side. What's your name? What's yours? All right, we're going to let them team up for a little high-speed Rebel challenge. The way it's going to work is we're going to run the clock. You have to name, well, you'll see. Let it rip. Take a look up here. It is the high-speed Rebel challenge. What are you trying to name? It's breakfast cereals combined. Ready?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cheerios, Captain Crunch, Light, Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops, Raisin Bran, Rice Krispies, Cracklin' Oats, Cocoa Rice Krispies.
Oh, come on, accepted. That's 13.
Lucky Charms.
He's dead weight.
Cocoa Pebbles. Cocoa Puffs. Pops. Fruit Loops.
Already said that.
Frosted Flakes. That's it.
Did you say Disney princess cereal? Always pick your favorite. All right. Cheerios. Cookie Crisp. Cocoa Pebbles. Fruity Pebbles. Fruit Loops. Frosted Flakes. Gotcha. Lucky Charms. Honey Bunches of Oats. Frosted Flakes. Honey Raisin Bran. The healthy ones. won. I mean, you were here. It was fine. Good work, boys. I appreciate y'all very much. We got a prize for you, courtesy of some of our friends here. Hey, give him a hand, guys, would you? I heard somebody say Fruit Loops over there. Bruce, what's your favorite kind of cereal?
If I said oatmeal, would you laugh?
You're old.
Get it working? Yeah. What was wrong? It was on the wrong encoder. It was on what? It was on the wrong encoder. For some reason it switched when the computer rebooted. Oh, okay. Yeah. It was up on time. Thank you.
You made it on time.
Yeah. Thank you for setting that up.
I tried my best.
Yeah. Oh no, you did everything right. It's just that software. This if you don't like using this particular encoder, it's finicky like that. Whereas this one, the new one, works fine at CA with our equipment, but it did not work with their equipment. So I had to use the Easy Jones.
And welcome back to the Orleans Arena for second period action between the 23rd ranked UNLV Skating Rebels and the 13th ranked Jimmies of Jamestown. Jamestown has a 2-1 lead at the end of 20 minutes, but UNLV will start the second period with a two-man advantage for the next 22 seconds. I'm Dana Lane. Thanks for joining us tonight on the UNLV YouTube channel as the Rebels punching into the offensive zone and the Jimmies promptly throw it right back out as the Rebels have to go back and regroup. First penalty almost over, 5 seconds to go. The Rebels might have a chance for one more rush. Here comes Sachs. Sachs with some speed, looking to use the net as another well, he uses that net to rub his defenseman off. Here's DeMizio. DeMizio back out to the point. Plonsky back to DeMizio. First penalty's over. Second penalty has 20 seconds to go. Shot wide. Brower, not sure he expected it, was not in position. And if that was on net, that might have went through. There's Sachs. Sachs tried to throw it back out. Now there's a race for the puck, as a second penalty will be killed off by the Jimmies, so they were able to kill both of those penalties off, obviously. Here's Muller, and now we're going to have a penalty on UNLV. Behind the play, Muller went into the offensive zone. Looked like they had something working, but behind the play, we're going to have a penalty, and it might be a slash. And the Jimmies are going to go right to the power play, and that's exactly what it is. Jake Sachs goes to the bench, goes to the penalty box. So Jamestown has a chance here to extend the lead as they get an early power play here in the second period. The Rebels able to maintain control on the draw. Sachs does go off 2 minutes for slashing as Jamestown is able to maintain control into the UNLV zone. And Haney goes D to D. He walks right in on Anderson. Couldn't find a clear lane to get the puck in on Anderson, so they didn't have to get down and make a save, but he was in position to do so. That's one thing we saw the other night. Always in position, a shot wide. The puck still maintains its presence in the UNLV offensive zone. And there's a shot and a deflection in, and the Jimmies take a 3-1 lead. And what happened there was real simple. Shot from the point. We'll see who got the deflection in front, but shot from the right point in towards Anderson, deflection in front, and Anderson was unable to readjust as the puck bounced behind him to give the Jimmies a 3-1 lead. And it's a power play goal for Jamestown. And here's Flanders, wins the draw right off the bat. Centering pass, nobody home, but then there's a return shot and a save by Brower. Good opportunity there by Lenzen, who said, I'd like to get another goal. He got his first the other night, a game winner. And Lenzen let off a laser that was easily handled by Brower. We see one of the Rebels, I think it was Tristan Mayer, that went off the ice. Face-off one there, but pop-off ticket for Jamestown. They tried to go right up through the middle on UNLV, but the Rebels were there clogging the middle, not allowing Jamestown to get a free ride in on Anderson. And now UNLV has to go to work with 17:38 to go in the second period, down by 2. And we know how stingy Brower can be, so a 2-goal lead is a big lead for Jamestown, a team that's been starving for goals, but has put up 3 tonight. Their biggest output in over a month. Here's Malone. Malone's got some room. He's going to try to use his speed. Here's a shot. It goes just wide. Brower as Malone tried to beat him above the right shoulder. And he made a good decision getting it off his stick when he did. A second later, and he would have had a Jimmy defender in his face. But those opportunities, with as good as Brower is, really have to be cashed in. 16:45 to go second period. And 3-1 Jimmy's. Love that nickname. Here's Moeller. Moeller tried a centering pass, ridden off the play. Shot, score! Paxton Malone. And Moeller did a great job of backhanding it in front. And Paxton Malone was right there for UNLV. The jam it past Brower. And we have a one-goal game once again. Jamestown 3, UNLV 2. And the other night, as defensively oriented as it was, we have 5 goals already in 23 minutes tonight, 23 minutes plus. And these two teams are playing some entertaining hockey this weekend. So UNLV gets the goal back, and now the deficit is 1 once again. Paxton Malone gets the goal. Here comes another one back. The shot just wide. Moeller gets the assist. And then back the other way with Sachs, and then a save by Anderson. And now we're getting some flow to these two teams, which it's been basically a dump and chase game by both teams, especially Jamestown, but we got some good flow back and forth now. And Sachs came in using his speed, tried to beat Brower to tie this thing up, and the entertainment level just went through the roof between these two. Taking a draw will be Crom for Jamestown. He'll lose it. Williams will have it for his second. And Williams got hit high. And Jamestown maintained control in the corner, still battling for it, and then goes back out to the point. Okino had it for his second for Jamestown, and he lost control of it as the Rebels go back and regroup. But again, no room. Jamestown does not allow UNLV any room, and here's a turnover. Shot in on Anderson, makes a glove save and freezes it up. Well, Jamestown just waits for their opponent to make mistakes, and all 3 of the goals that they scored tonight, well, at least 2 of them is based on a mistake by UNLV or just giving way too much room. Skill-wise, they're not as skilled as most teams, but as far as sticking to the system, they're as good as anybody that UNLV has seen this year. Very similar to Stony Brook, which UNLV just saw at City National Arena. Puck thrown down low. And those are battles that UNLV wants to win. Stick to side by Brower. Good opportunity there for the Rebels once again as Jamestown throws it back down into the corner. They'll play that chip and chase game all night long. The Rebels go back and get it. And if you're going to play that game for UNLV, it's important that the first pass out of that corner from your D-man to a forward finds its mark. Otherwise, transition is going to be difficult coming out of your zone. .15:04 to go, second period, 3-2 Jamestown. Jamestown has dropped 3 straight games by a combined score of 7-1, but of course, they've already scored 3 tonight, so that number looks a little bit better. The face-off won by the Jimmies, so they dump it back in, but goes over the board, so we'll do it once again. And coming into this game, Aiden Potus has not scored, or had not scored a Division I goal since November 16th. And although there's plenty of talent on this team, they really need Potus to get on the scoreboard. He's done so twice tonight. And they're a different team when their leading goal scorer finds his mark on the score sheet. Puck bouncing around in the neutral zone, finally corralled by UNLV. Thrown back up into the neutral zone. Now skated back into the Jimmy's end as they want to go back and regroup, but Jamestown's not giving UNLV easy access even outside their own zone, let alone into the offensive zone. As DeMizio takes a hit along the boards. Now DeMizio centering pass. Nobody in front, but there's a shot in on Brower, and he made the save. Does give up a rebound. Now 2-on-1 back the other way. It's a backhander off the pipe. And I don't think Anderson had to go down to make the save, but a 2-on-1 opportunity for the Jimmies. Now a 1-on-3 forming as UNLV makes a change, and back and forth we go. Almost like 4-on-4 hockey with 14 minutes to go in the third period. Here's John. John with a head of steam, shoots, and a save by Brower. So they gave John the offensive zone pretty easy, and John was able to use his speed to get a shot off. And Brower, handy with the glove hand, makes a save. Underwood will take the draw for the Rebels. He'll lose the draw, and the Jimmies have done a great job in the circle tonight. There's a stretch pass to Pruss, Michael Pruss. Couldn't do anything with it because he couldn't get it to stick to his stick. Now back the other way, UNLV might have a 2-on-1 as Sachs was trying to make a move, but just outside his stick, so the 2-on-1 went for naught as the Rebels had to go back and regroup as Jamestown pushed it outside the offensive zone. Here's Williams. Williams on up to Linehan. Linehan does not connect. Jamestown pushes it into the UNLV end, but the Rebels doing a really good job of making sure there's no room every time Jamestown accesses their end of the ice. And Popoff goes to pick it up as Sachs gives him pressure, and Malone gives some pressure as well. And now back the other way. Here's a shot on Anderson, and he makes a pad save. 12:48 to go, second period. And we're back and forth in this one as the pace has picked up between these two teams as the Rebels making another change. Moeller lined up McKechnie, and I don't think he got the best of him. The puck floated out in front in the paint area. Anderson didn't get a stick on it. The Rebels able to get it out of the low slot area. The puck bouncing around to Jimmy's inside the UNLV end, and the minute they get it in, it gets poked back out again. Both teams extremely quick with their sticks. As Bell dumps it in. And his dump in finds his mark. Here's a 2-on-1 shot in front. There's a return shot deflected. Another shot, and the puck is still loose. And there is not, you see a window of opportunity for a second. Here's Sachs. Sachs going to use that net. Here's a centering pass. Nobody there for UNLV. And then back in transition. Here comes Jamestown. Van Ruin was ridden into the board, so he could not gain access in an odd man rush that was forming. With 11:21 to go in the second period, and the puck is bounced down, poked back down to Brower. And I like UNLV amping up the aggression a little bit. It's been done to them all night long, so it's almost like football where you're trying to win the field position battle. And if your forecheckers can find success, that is really going to put a strain on your opposition. But of course, you open yourself up for stretch passes and odd man rushes if that initial pressure does not take hold. Jamzitsky back to get it, tried to clear it out, not able to do so. So now he goes back and tries to backhand it, gets it off to Aquino. Aquino carrying the puck in the offensive zone, then finally lays it off and offside for Jamestown. as the Rebel chant takes hold. 10:21 to go, second period. 3-2 Jamestown. Last night, UNLV, or rather Saturday night, you would say, gave up about 7 top scoring chances. But Anderson, who is brand new, former, and we talked about this the other night, so I don't want to beat it to death, but he's a former backup goaltender, shot in on Anderson. Anderson made the save. Former backup goaltender for Jamestown, recruited during the break to come to UNLV, and of course UNLV needed some depth in goaltending, so they went out and got 2. And he greeted his former teammates with a shutout on Friday night. It's a dump in by McNeil. Chase there along the boards. Alan Pruss trying to get a stick on it. Still able to maintain control in the UNLV end. Here's Jamzitsky. And he also just dumps it in. Chase there by Mayer. Now here comes Sachs. Sachs trying to make a move, and he was one move away from going in one-on-one. Now back the other way. Here's a shot in on Anderson, and Anderson makes a save as Dylan Haney had a lane, and it was just him and Anderson was square to the puck. Goes down to make the save with 9:04 to go in the second period. 3-2 Jamestown. The other night, with Lenzen getting the game winner for UNLV, he's definitely a kid that you could tell that the coaching staff is having more and more confidence in. And of course, that was his first goal of the season for the Calgary native. Played with Revelstoke last year. Ann Fernie of the Kootenay International Junior Hockey League. It's a Junior B team in Canada, and I believe there's a team in Washington State as well. Won a title there. And of course his former team is, last time I checked, is still crushing that league. I think they're only second to Kimberly Dynamite, but that's way too much research. Nobody should really know that stuff. Back the other way for UNLV is Lenzen, speaking of David. 2-on-1 forming for the Jimmies. Cross-ice pass. We're looking for one. Didn't receive it. Instead, a shot goes above Anderson's glove hand. Puck is loose in front. Now finally picked up there by the Jimmies. They shoot and they score. Well, Chavez Leach. And then once again, it's the same story as the first goal. There was a loose puck in front. They won a battle. Loose puck in front, and I believe Chavez Leach got the goal for the Jimmies. And Jamestown has taken a 4-2 lead over UNLV with 8:11 to go in the second period. And we'll get the official call on it, but there is going to be at least one assist on the play, but I believe Chavez Leach was the one who came in and gave the Jimmies their 4th goal tonight. And Tyler Chavez Leach, and it was unassisted. And perhaps there was a deflection which made the puck go in front. And the Rebels, this is the time right now where they have to go back and reach deep down and get that goal back quickly. Here comes John. John into the offensive zone, lays it off. Williams was not, or check that. Erickson was tied up, so he wasn't able to take control. Here's a shot, deflection just wide. Good opportunity there for the Rebels as they need to get more bodies in front of Brower. Otherwise, he's going to stonewall you all night. Back to get it is Demizio. Demizio backhands it. And finally out and over to glass. So 7:15 to go, second period. 4-2 Jamestown. And in the first game, went back and watched it. It had to be at least over 20 turnovers in the neutral zone, and that's kind of what Jamestown's game is. It's get sticks in the passing areas. Don't allow quick transition. And UNLV had a ton of turnovers in that neutral zone, and I'm not sure that's any. We don't have an official count, but I think it's somewhere in that. It's headed in that direction again tonight. Richter will take the draw for UNLV. And the Rebels finally do win the draw. There's Asaf. Asaf is able to backhand it up, and pass was intended for Malone. Malone had a step, wasn't able to thread it through, so the turnover and the Jimmy's end. As the puck bounces around in the neutral zone. And the Jimmies just decide to do what they do and dump it in. There's Asaf. Asaf gets a big hit from Haney. Dylan Haney, who did not play on Friday night, has made his presence known tonight. Shot in on Anderson. Anderson's down to make 2 saves, and now he's made a 3rd save as he hugs the post. He goes post to post on the 3rd save, and the Jimmies are still buzzing around. The puck is still loose. Puck goes back to Aquino. Aquino gives it back to the right side, shoots, and another save by Anderson. 4 quality saves by Anderson, or at least 3 for sure. Not sure if the first one got through. Now back the other way. Here's Williams. Shoots and just wide. And there's little spurts of wide open hockey between two teams that have played extremely well defensively with 5:51 to go in the second period. Browning trying to keep it in the offensive zone for the Jimmies, and he's able to do so as it's picked up by Bell. Now on over to Browning. Browning shoots it in. Anderson down to make the save. Puck still loose. Rebels on top of it. Back in transition. Have a 3-on-2 if they hurry. So shot over to Linehan. Pass, a saucer pass over to Linehan. Linehan wasn't able to get it off his stick. Jimmy's go and win a battle and throw it back outside the zone. It's very difficult to come back on a team that plays their system as well as Jamestown does. Just over 5 minutes to go in the second period. Hit along the board. Sachs was trying to make a move into the offensive zone. Finally picked up by Linehan, and he gets buried for his efforts. There's very little space for UNLV. As the game progresses, there's a lot more space for Jamestown to make hockey moves than there is UNLV, as the Jimmies look to be a little bit well rested and have a game plan that they're definitely sticking to, tonight, as they did in game one. They just couldn't find the back of the net and solve Anderson. And back out to Shemzitsky. Shemzitsky throws it in down deep. The Jimmies using their body well, and that's one thing. They separate their body from the puck, and a shot in Anderson, he makes a glove save. They do what they really do well in the corner, as sticks are going up in front of Anderson. What they really do well is use their body to shield the puck from the opposing defender coming in to try to win that battle. And they've done it all night. I mean, it's dump it in, but also make sure that you're in position to not lose that battle, and they play that to perfection. So 4:10 to go in the second period. Jamestown wins another face-off. Shot goes just wide by Haney. And once again, the puck is up against the half boards, and once again, Jamestown wins that battle. And it really is a battle when the puck is along the half boards. Going towards the net was Underwood, hoping for a shot or maybe a rebound. And the Rebels just can't force turnovers to give themselves space in the offensive zone. Jamestown has made it very difficult for UNLV to have any breathing room tonight. Rebels back. Here's a possible 2-on-1. Centering pass. Nobody there except Bell for the Jimmies. And Bell was trying to get out of the zone and did. Now back the other way as Van Ruin tries to beat three UNLV defenders. Has it poked off a stick. Shot and a save by Anderson. Popoff had it on the left point rather. Anderson was able to see through some traffic in front. And he seems to be always in position to make those saves. And sometimes even if you can't see, if you're in position, the puck will find you. 2:50 to go, second period. And the Rebels lose yet another draw. But are able to come back and maintain possession. Left it off for Malone. Malone shoots. Anderson out to cut down, or check that. Brower out to cut down the angle. And now it went outside the offensive zone. We got an offsides with 2:33 to go. Shots on goal in favor of Jamestown, 19-13. Jamestown has been suffocating tonight defensively. Jamestown have been phenomenal on the face-offs tonight. As Williams goes back to touch up, we'll have a face-off with 2:25 to go in the second period, 4-2 Jamestown. Not sure if they show the score or time as much. I don't have a monitor in front of me. It's definitely on the wish list. So I'll try to give it to you as much as I can. The Rebels, this is an important draw as Malone will take the draw and lose the draw. But the Rebels able to maintain control, and then Malone was almost able to get that puck back on the stick to get a shot off as he was coming in on the weak side. The strong side, rather. But every one-on-one battle tonight, Jamestown seems to be getting the better of UNLV, at least so far. Now plenty of space, slapper. Anderson, I don't think got to it. No, there was blocked in front. Now out to Browning. Browning, his centering pass. Nobody there to deflect it into Anderson. And UNLV going back the other way. This is Malone. Malone trying to make a move, but UNLV is in a change. So it was Malone coming in 1-on-3 with 1:35. And we're going to have a penalty. It's going to be a slash. And this potentially is going to go against Jamestown. And we'll see who goes to the box. And that indeed is the case. So UNLV down by 2. UNLV down by 2. Michael Press will go in for a slash. And now UNLV's on the power play with 1:35 to go in the second period. And they win the draw. Sachs wins it, gets it back. Sachs with his head up. Over 2 minutes for slashing to Pruss. As Brower makes the save. So 1:23 to go in the second period. 4-2 Jamestown. 1:49 left on the penalty. And these are huge face-offs for UNLV to win, even though it's a two-goal game. You win these draws in your offensive end, and you essentially give yourself another 15, 20 seconds on the power play. There's DiMizio. DiMizio out to the point. And Jamestown more than willing to push up Rebels against the boards and kill off some time. Centering pass by DiMizio. DiMizio gets the puck back, cross-ice pass. Doesn't find its mark. Here's Sachs. Sachs backhander. Cross-ice pass to DiMizio. DiMizio walks in, tries to make a move, centering pass. Nobody there for UNLV. 1:06 to go in the power play. 38 seconds to go, second period. And DeMizio has the puck, makes a great move, goes in the offensive zone, and wow, that was a close offside, but good move there by DeMizio. As Jamestown barely cleared it out, but referee was right there, so you got to think that he did see it clearly. Right, Saints fans? 30.8 seconds left, 56 seconds left in the power play. And a piercing noise just goes through the Orleans Arena. Stunning everybody. And I guess we'll do that over again because it's not really a normal hockey noise. Everybody wondered what that noise was and just stopped. Now they're going over to the official score to see exactly what that was, but face-off outside the offensive zone. Asaf goes back to pick it up, gives it over to Williams. Williams shoots it in down low. Picked up there by John. John met by two Jimmies. It's a shot and a save by Brower. Good opportunity there by Erickson. With 3 seconds left in the period, and that's going to not do it for the period with 2/10 of a second left. But this period is essentially over because all they have to do is drop the puck, and UNLV will have 26 seconds left, or 25 seconds and some change left on the power play when they come back out of the break. And the formality of dropping the puck. And there it is. So that's the end of the second period. Big second period for Jamestown as they've extended their lead. And they lead 4-2 at the end of the second period. Shots on goal in favor of Jamestown, 19-15. But UNLV has a power play when we come back after the third period intermission to the UNLV Jamestown Monday matchup, which is different. And that is the shot on goal count, just getting the official word right now. But we'll be back at the end of the second period. 4-2 Jamestown over UNLV, but the Rebels will be back on a power play after the intermission. And welcome back to the Orleans Arena for period number 3 between the UNLV Skating Rebels, ranked 23rd in the country, 9-2 at home, including their neutral site win the other night against Jamestown, ranked 13th in the country, 15-6, 5-4 on the road so far this season. And Rebels have their work cut out for them, but they get to start the third period on a power play. 26 seconds left in the power play. And I'm Dana Lane. Thanks for joining us on the UNLV Rebel YouTube page. And the first couple minutes, first 5 minutes or so of this third period is really going to tell you the intensity level that the Rebels are coming out with here in the third. Here's DeMizio. DeMizio gets it down low, but deflected right back out of the offensive zone. There's Mazzillo. Mazzillo tries to carry it in. And a puck does get into the Jamestown offensive end, but they promptly regain possession of it. So UNLV, no opportunity, even though it's in the Jamestown end. And that's kind of been the story all night. The Rebels go back to regroup. Here's DeMizio. DeMizio into the offensive zone. Does a good job of getting around Richter, or check that, Rollo. Our second pairing defenseman for the Jimmies. And Jamestown pops it right back out of the zone again. Turcotte had it for a second, lost control of it, got it over to DeMizio. DeMizio walks into the high slot area, then loses it. Here's Saxon a save, and Brower looked behind him for a second. But good, quick passing from UNLV, and that gave Sachs an opportunity to try to make this a one-goal game again as we're a minute 8 into the third period. And face off in the offense in the Jimmy zone. Tried to kept in there by Williams. Williams was unable to keep it in the zone, so it jumped back out again, and back to get it for UNLV is Asaf. Asaf couldn't find anybody, so he decided just to get it outside of the UNLV end, and then it jumped all the way down into the Jamestown end, and it is back and forth, but not much action in between. Sachs has it bounce off his stick, now over to Williams. Cross-ice pass on over to Turcotte. Turcotte got hit high for his troubles. As Linehan goes back for UNLV, but can't control the puck, and Jamestown's just more than happy to throw it outside the zone. We've said that I've said that 100 times tonight, but that is exactly what's going on. You would expect the Rebels at some point to bring some pressure and try to force the Jimmies into a mistake, but some token pressure tonight, but not really anything that has stopped Jamestown from breaking out, as there's a collision at center ice between John and Aiden Potus. Potus getting back to his scoring ways, and then once DeAndre John gets hit high as well, and maybe Jamestown's coming out with a little bit more physicality, and 3 minutes gone. I don't think I think we've had one whistle, so good flow to this third period. The Rebels just having trouble breaking out of their own zone as Flanders tried to make a move, but UNLV was in a line change, so nobody there to assist Flanders on his move. But there's Muller. Muller shoots at a stick save by Brower. I think that shot was going just wide anyway, but there's a turnover in front, blocked nicely. Picked up, there's back off to Hetzel. Hetzel dumped it back into the corner, and it's just, as much as even when UNLV gets it into the offensive zone, it just can't make that extra pass. The Jimmies are right on them, daring them to be almost perfect in the offensive end. And the puck finds its way down into Brower. Could have been an interference call, but I guess it would have been a little ticky-tack. Maybe that was hopeful on my part with 16:03 to go in the third period. 4-2 Jamestown. With 16:03 to go. Probably said that 2 seconds ago. Jamestown wins yet another draw as Rollo gets it in, throws it right back outside the offensive end. Chased there by Williams. Williams with his head up looking for somebody, but it's just, now he gets a cross-ice pass to his D partner, Asaf, and now good transition into the Jamestown end. Well, that was probably the best offensive zone entry that they've had. A D-to-D pass from Williams to Asaf. Chased there by Sachs. Sachs using some speed. He's going to go wide. He's going to use the net. He lays it off, and Brower makes a save. Sachs goes back after the puck as it bounces outside the offensive zone, then pushed back in again, and the Jimmies go back as the Rebels make a change. Just over 15 minutes left in the third period. Another goal by Jamestown might just seal this game, but UNLV down by 2. Here's a shot in on Anderson. Anderson down to make the save. And that's going to be the first shot on Anderson tonight, and sticks are up in the air. First shot on Anderson in the third period. That gives the Jamestown Jimmies 20 for the night. But the Rebels, not only, the other night obviously was perfection in front of Anderson, but tonight they've also played extremely well. I mean, you've only given up 20 shots in 25 minutes of hockey. That's not that bad. And of course, as far as quality opportunities are concerned, the Jimmies have probably had, probably 6 or 7 of those. Here comes Turcotte back the other way, trying to make a move, goes to the backhander, but couldn't get it off his stick. Had a 2-on-1 for a second, but that lane was closed, and we're going to have a slash. So 14:43 to go, third period. And a slashing call, and UNLV is going on an extremely important power play. That slash goes to Okino. So not only is UNLV going to the power play, but they get one of Jamestown's top defensemen off the ice. And this is an opportunity that you can circle if the Rebels go on to lose this game. Let's score here, and it's a totally different affair. As the Jimmies win. Check that. It was a tripping call on Okino.
That means it's time for another Rebel Scarlet.
There's Mazzillo. Mazzillo loses it for a second, gets it on up to Flanders. Flanders using it, or check that, Erickson using his speed. Well, check that again. Underwood uses his speed to get into the offensive zone. Here's a turnover in front. Shot in a, not a save, but looked like he might have used his, or Brower might have used his shoulder to make the save on that, but I don't think it got to him. And back the other way, here's Demizio. Demizio inside the offensive zone, but two Rebels as a team not quick to get into the offensive zone. Those two Rebels floated into the zone as Demizio was essentially going, even on a power play, Demizio was essentially going 3-on-4. There's Williams. Williams over to Sachs, but it bounced off his stick, and Jamestown throws it down the length of the ice once again. Anderson comes out to play it to Asaf. Asaf can't handle it. Gives it back to Eric Williams. Up through the middle, here's John. John trying to make a move. There's a shot in on Brower. Brower down to make the pad save. With 22 seconds left in the UNLV power play, 4-2 Jamestown, 13:04 left in the game. And before I forget, shout out to everybody who's watching in North Dakota. Shout out to Coach Stork, who's been fantastic this weekend. It's a great experience getting to know Coach Stork from Jamestown. I wish him and his kids all the best for the rest of the season, but plenty of hockey to go tonight with 13 minutes to go in the game. Sachs tried to keep the puck inside the Jamestown zone, but unable to do so with 4 seconds left in the power play, and that's going to do it for the Rebel man advantage. So 12:44 left in the game, 4-2 Jamestown. Here's Erickson. Erickson says, I'll take it myself, shoots it in on Brower, and he makes the easy save. Well, Brower's going to stop those, and the key to his success is definitely not allowing rebounds. The amount of rebounds that Brower has allowed, not only tonight, but over the 2 games, you could count on one hand. And the Rebels have cashed in on a couple of those, but just as not a goaltender is going to give up a lot of rebounds. The Rebels win the draw with 12:26 left in the third period, and time is not on the side of UNLV. Malone gets a puck, and Malone centers it, but once again, nobody there for UNLV to take advantage as Anderson comes out to play the puck. The layoff there was a shot goes in on Anderson. Anderson gets down to make the pad save, and we're going to have a penalty, and that's going to be against UNLV. So not only are the Rebels down by 2, but they're going to have to kill off a 2-minute penalty, I believe. I think Jamestown touched up, and perhaps that's not true. Okay, so I thought Jamestown had touched up, so UNLV is going to get a power play opportunity. And it looks like Allen Press is going to go to the box, and UNLV is going to call an early timeout, which is probably a good idea at this point. 11:55 to go in the third period. UNLV now on a important power play, and every man advantage that they get at this point is obviously extremely important. And the Rebels next week will play 3 games in 4 days, and we'll be back to City National. Face off Thursday night. They'll play Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and they'll play Minot State on Thursday. And they'll play Grand Canyon and also Minot. So they'll play Minot twice. And it's a little bit different of what you might have on the schedule. So Allen Press is 2 minutes for slashing. So UNLV is on an important power play right now. Here comes Plonsky. Plonsky carries it into the Jamestown end. And the Rebels trying to cycle it around in the corner, trying to get a good quality shot off. Here's Sachs. Sachs is a guy that's going to create his own shot if he can, as he lays it off at the point. Now down low, back out to the point. Cross ice pass and a easy save by Brower on Underwood. Underwood wound up, but I don't know if he got all of that. So shot on goal for UNLV is their 20th of the night, but going to have to be better than that to beat Brower. Going to have to get him out of position, and you do that by getting the puck off your stick quick. The quicker your game, the easier it is to find areas to get quality shots off on net. If you're slow with the puck, the goaltender is going to be able to go post to post quite easily. 50 seconds left in the power play. About halfway through the period, 10:38 to go. And Jamestown backhands it out, tries to backhand it out of the zone. Not able to do so. Sachs chases it. And it does trickle out of the zone as Asaf cannot keep it in the zone. So they'll have to come back out again as Asaf tried to bring it on in, and we got a whistle for offside with 31 seconds left. And the penalty to Allen Press, 10:26 to go, third period. And every draw is important for UNLV to win. Everything must go their way from here on out, down by 2, and Turcotte does win that draw. Jamestown tries to clear, but Asaf does a good job of keeping it in, but finally Jamestown is able to throw it back outside the zone. Browning thought about going after Turcotte for a second and thought better of it as they changed. And once again, that's a great example there of Jamestown having the quicker having the quicker stick, and as a result, they're able to poke it back out of the zone as Eric Williams throws it in on Brower. Brower down to make the easy save. Now the puck comes back out of the zone through neutral ice. Backhander up to Williams. And a shot in on Brower as he makes the easy save again. Always in position. I mean, the puck finds the middle of his chest, and Rebels have 21 shots on goal. Both teams have 21 shots on goal, but Brower's made it look pretty easy tonight. And this is a tough team to come back from in Jamestown. The Rebels got it. Here's Malone. Malone shoots, and the puck did trickle away from Brower for a second. But nobody was there from UNLV to take advantage. Moeller was there with the closest. Face-off taken by Okino. Okino just wraps it back down, and we might have a icing call, but icing is waved off. Here's Moeller. Moeller decides to shoot it down, and we'll have an icing on this one. Not sure where Moeller was going with that. Face-off down in the Rebel end with 9:03 to go in the third period. And UNLV wins the draw as Williams tries to get it outside the zone. Not able to do so, and you can see where Jamestown is heavily forechecking UNLV, and with a 2-goal lead, they have the luxury of doing that. They have a great goaltender, and they're as fast as UNLV, so they have no problem applying heavy pressure to the UNLV defenseman. Tied up along the boards is Erickson. Puck deflected in front. And now wide as the Rebels pick it up for a second. As they're trying to get it outside, get it out of the zone. They do for a second, but Jamestown once again throws it right back down the ice as both teams make a change. Now, Erickson tried to make the Jimmies pay for their change as he tried to get it up to Sachs. Sachs was outside the reach of Sachs. Cross-ice pass, nobody there. Now low slot area, and the Jimmies throw it back outside the zone. So 7:45 to go, third period. 4-2 Jamestown. And the puck walks its way into Tyson Brower. Orleans Arena, home of the Las Vegas Wranglers of the ECHL, a league that Coach Stork for Jamestown played in. She played for the Cincinnati Cyclones. And we'll say that Coach Stork was an aggressive player in his time. In fact, did battle with now Vegas Golden Knight Derek England at one point, as Derek England also played for the Las Vegas Wranglers. Here's DeMizio. DeMizio looking for a trailer cross-ice pass. Nobody there. And they're doing a good job of making sure the middle of the ice is clear. And then a flip in on Brower. Brower able to make that save. 7 minutes ago, third period, 4-2 Jamestown. And now the desperation level for UNLV is going through the roof a little bit. At least poking its head above the roof. Sometimes I'm not great with the metaphors, but you guys get it. Now shot in front, and now that was the best opportunity UNLV's had in a long time. As DeMizio wound up and Brower was in position to make the stick save. And what can you say about Brower? He is everything you know he is. Here's a some wide open space, and I might have walked it in a little bit more because Brower's going to make that save every single time if it's at the top of the circle. Plenty of room to walk that in a little bit more, but deflected in front. $9,500 seat arena. Home also of the Las Vegas Gladiators. As we have a timeout on the ice. The first Wrangler game, if memory serves me right, was in 2003. Against the exhibition. That was an exhibition game against the Bakersfield Condors. That was a game that the Wranglers won 4-2. Stanley Cup has also been here. College basketball tournaments, of course, have been here on numerous occasions. The West Coast Conference tournament, men's and women's tournament is held here. The Western Athletic Conference tournament has been here since 2011. UNLV basketball also beat then number 1 North Carolina at the Orleans Arena as well. And I think that was in 2011 as the puck goes into Brower as he's down to make the save. An arena that broke ground in 2002 and opened in 2003. Cost $85 million to build this beautiful facility. As the Rebels win the draw for a second, but Jamestown quickly on top of the puck to get it outside the zone, and Anderson comes out to play it. And Anderson, eventually his pass found the stick of McKechnie, who threw it in deep once again. I'm not entirely sure UNLV is a dump and chase team, but they certainly have been kind of playing the same game as Jamestown. I'd like to see them carry the puck into the offensive zone a little bit more. And puck goes wide of Anderson for icing. The Wranglers, of course, have had incredible success, and this arena being built was a catalyst for Vegas continuing a hockey tradition and the dream of getting the National Hockey League, which they eventually did. The Wranglers and the Thunder had incredible success on the ice and off the ice as well, as the Rebels win the draw here. Sachs trying to make a move but gets bumped off the puck. And the word I would use, as we're going to have a penalty, the word I would use to describe Jamestown is tenacious, and this might be a UNLV penalty, and that looks to be the case. And that's a tough one right there, because with 5:14 left in the game, as Underwood goes to the box, they're going to have to kill off a 2-minute power play for Jamestown, and then that's only going to leave them 3 minutes left. And they are squeezing themselves thin with opportunity. Their opportunity are squeezing thin. Rebels face off down in the Rebels zone. Underwood 2 minutes for interference. So the Jimmies can bury this one now, and they just did. They shot and score. And let's see if there's going to be goaltender interference, and this one's going to get waved off. So Jimmies thought they had their 5th goal, but it quickly gets waved off for goaltender interference. And the score remains 4-2 with 5 minutes exactly left in the 3rd period. 1:46 to go in this penalty. One of the things UNLV wanted to do is get a lot of net traffic, and at least sitting up here, I did not see that as much as we saw that in perhaps the first game. So the puck's outside the UNLV zone. One there by the Rebels, an important win as they dump it down to the Jimmy's end, taken there by Aquino. Aquino tried to backhand it out. Jamestown successful getting it out of their own zone as Richter gets a hold of it, throws it down in the corner. Rebels just back and happy to clear it themselves, I suppose, but down 2 goals with some room. Perhaps you might want to carry that puck up a little bit until you're forced to dump it. Jimmy's back the other end. There's Richter. Richter back out to Aquino. Aquino just happy to throw it into his space, and we got a whistle. The Wranglers were the first team in ECHL history to have 3 consecutive 100-point seasons. And even if you go back to the Thunder, the amazing success the Thunder have had between the Wranglers and the Thunder, they were the best teams in the IHL and the ECHL to never win a title. But there was a lot of winning here at the Thomas and Mack and a lot of winning at here at the Orleans Arena. And 43 seconds left in the power play. Haney goes back for Jamestown. And the back pass was clearly going to be offsides. Good job. Here's a cross-ice pass to Michael Pruss. Anderson makes a save. Pruss was cutting in. So Jimmies are looking for their 5th goal with 18 seconds left in the power play. 3:30 to go in the game. Puck loose in front, and Anderson makes a save. The Rebels trying to clear and finally do. And that's going to do it for the power play. So UNLV essentially has 3 minutes and change to get 2 goals, or they're going to lose for the 9th time in 10 games. Back the other way, here comes Johnson. And the puck thrown back to center ice. And Jamestown's more than happy to play keep away right now. And really the Rebels, every time they get the puck on their stick, have got to get it off their stick with a purpose and not just flip it up and get it out of the zone. They're taken there by Erickson, and we have an offside. So the Rebels have done a good job of getting it out of their own end. It's just the transition of going on the offensive transition can't be what head coach Anthony Vigneri Greener had envisioned for tonight's game. It's more of a chip and chase game for the Rebels, and I'm not sure that that's their game, but you know, perhaps when you're playing a team like Jamestown, they kind of force you into that type of game. Big hit along the boards. as DeMizio gets hit from behind. Rebels still in possession. DeMizio gets it for a second and lost possession. Back the other way. Here comes McKechnie, and McKechnie looking for a trailer. He's more than happy to use his body to kill off some time. Now 2 minutes to go in the third period. Back out to the point. And Popoff sends it back down into the corner. And Jamestown is playing keep away at this point. This is the equivalent of the Carolina Four Corners. Dumping down low. And Jamestown in complete control with 1:41 to go. And it is keep away, back to the point, shot, and across crease pass. Didn't find its mark. Almost lulling the Rebels asleep because they thought, well, their only goal is to, and a knee hit perhaps there on John. John is down on the ice and his head is down, and now Williams gets his stick up, and Williams gets slashed by Haney. Just a little tap. Not really a full slash, but DeAndre John is certainly shaken up a little bit as he skates to the bench. So 1:19 to go in the game, and we'll see what the call is going to be. There is going to be a there's going to be a 5-minute penalty on check that on Michael Pruss. So he has a 5-minute. We'll get the official call on that. But UNLV down by 2 with 1:19 to go. Have one more breath. 5 minutes for kneeing to Michael Pruss. And UNLV is going to end this game on a power play if something else doesn't affect that. Well, 1 minute to go. Here's thrown in front. Here's DeMizio trying to make a backhanded shot. DeMizio received the puck in the high slot area, but just couldn't make a move. It was in his skates. And had to, by the time he got it out of his skates and then got it to his backhand. Of course, the Jimmies were all over that, as they have been most of the night. Here's a face-off win. Shot, score! Well, right off the face-off, Jake Sachs says this game isn't over yet. And he skates to the high point area and beats Tyson Brower. And we have a 4-3 hockey game with 53.1 seconds left. And keep in mind, we'll see if we're going to see if Anderson comes out. So Anderson's on the ice right now, but if they win the draw, he's coming right off the ice. So UNLV essentially, once they get possession into the Jimmy's end, they essentially will have a 2-man advantage, but there's 45 seconds left. Anderson goes to the bench, so UNLV down by 1, still has some breath. Back out to the right point. Over to DeMizio. DeMizio shoots just wide. I think Anderson lost sight of that for a second. Didn't go in the net. Back out to the left point. Slapper. Sticked aside by Brower. Here's Underwood. Underwood cross-ice pass, and that got deflected out of play. So still plenty of time left. Face-off will be down in the Jamestown end. 4-3 Jamestown with 18.6 seconds left in the third period. They will end with a 2-man advantage because Anderson is out of the box, and this is an extremely big face-off here. Here's Sachs. Sachs turns around, backhands it down deep. 13 seconds left in the third period. UNLV needs 1 goal to tie it up, and Jamestown tried to flip it out and does. And that might do it for UNLV, as they might have one more chance, and that's going to do it. With 0.7 of a second left, that's going to be offside. So the Rebels have a chance to get a shot off, but unfortunately it's going to be outside the zone. And the Rebels have made it interesting at the end. And we'll see what they can do with 0.7 left, but Jake Sachs made it exciting as he beat Brower. And here's the draw with 7/10. UNLV has to win this draw, and really did everything that they could, and that's going to be the end of the game. So 1 to draw, got a weak shot off just wide of Anderson, but unfortunately for UNLV, they go down in defeat for the 9th time in 10 games as they lose to the Jimmies of Jamestown 4-3. Shots on goal in favor of UNLV 30-23 as the second half of the game, UNLV tried to get as many shots in on Brower, but the quality shots were few and far between. And Jamestown played their system to perfection, gets a split on the road, which is good news for them. And for UNLV, UNLV is back at City National, and they'll play Minot State, 7 p.m. at City National. So make sure you go out and support the UNLV Skating Rebels as the schedule gets tougher. They'll play 3 games in the next 4 days. And it's kind of interesting now to see David Anderson go through the handshake line, and just about every Jimmy is giving David Anderson a hug as he goes through the line, so that's good to see. And of course, David Anderson, as we've said a couple times, used to be a former Jimmy, and essentially this is a goodbye for David Anderson as he goes through the Jimmy's line. But UNLV has their work cut out for them. The schedule doesn't get any easier as Minot State and Grand Canyon comes to City National next week. They'll play 3 games in 4 days, so they need your support. So come on out and support the Skating Rebels. Final score tonight from the Orleans Arena, Jamestown 4, UNLV 3. We'll see you on Thursday. Thanks for joining us tonight on the UNLV Skating Rebels YouTube page.